What was that?
Your Range Rover. All your kids in that.
I thought this was part of the paint job. All right, so I think today's finally the day that we start the modifications to our G80 M3. We've had it for quite some time, to be honest. I think at least half a year by now. So finally, we've had the wheels in the warehouse for the longest time. We were waiting on a lot of various pieces. We didn't want to do a little bit here and there. We wanted the whole build from beginning to end and knock it out in a couple of days. So we're gonna start that today. The pieces that are going on this car, of course, all the things that you would expect from a WheelsBoutique build: wheels, new tires, suspension, exhaust, carbon aero, and tune. If I'm missing anything, I don't think so, but usually we would do the brake upgrade kit as well, but this is brand new, so no need to mess with that. Speaking about the aero, we're gonna go with RSC carbon. Now, if you guys are followers of our channel, we featured RSC carbon on this channel before on a C8 Corvette. I believe it was either a white or an orange one, but the carbon was a perfect fit and finish for that car. We didn't have to do any other modifications to make it work. So we turned to the guys at RSC Carbon again for our G80. So I'm very excited about that. I don't know all the details, but I do believe that it's gonna be probably a side skirt, front spoiler, rear diffuser, maybe a deck lid spoiler as well. But I'm very excited to kind of be surprised and see what they have on offer. The springs, again, not familiar with which ones we're doing. I'm not sure if it's gonna be H&R, KW, or something new, but I'm looking forward to that. What I do know is what wheels and what exhaust we're gonna do. So we're gonna do an IPE full exhaust. To my knowledge, it'll be the first one here in North America with the full IPE exhaust. Very, very excited for that. Obviously, the car is turbocharged, so you can do a lot of things to make it sound a lot better, and we're gonna do just that with the IPE. And then I know the wheels as well. They're a set of HREs. It's gonna be the first set. You know us, whenever we have a car, we do maybe 3 or 4 sets. We usually order the sets well in advance. So we had to wait a long time for the HREs. We have to wait a long time for the Anarchies. Those are the 2 main brands in the wheel industry right now that are the best in the business for a car like this. So again, I don't know which Anarchies they are, but let me show you the HREs that are gonna be going on this bad boy. Bad boys. Now, this was a wheel that we did on our Oak Green Metallic 992 Turbo S. We fell in love with that wheel. We did a different color combination for that one. We had a frozen polished gold with a polished gold barrel. And on this one, we're doing a frozen polished clear, or frozen polished silver, what some people know it as, and then the polished barrel. Now, I keep saying barrel because even though it looks like a 3-piece wheel, we're going back to the HRE 2-piece wheel series, which is the S1 SC series. It's their proprietary technology, which means FMR, forged monoblock rim. So I've said it a bunch of times on this channel. As you can see here, there is no gap or silicone where you would expect a normal 3-piece wheel. Usually on a 3-piece wheel, you have the inner barrel, the outer lip, and then the center face, but not in the case here. So the advantage of that is that the barrel is much more durable and much more lightweight than the traditional 3-piece. And I can actually try and find a 3-piece here so you can take a look. We have the beautiful HRE Vintage Series, one of my favorite wheels. We'll move it along here. So again, here is that multiple piece of the wheel configuration, so you can see the difference. Here's that silicone. So you got the one outer lip, you got the inner barrel and the center face. And then here, it's completely missing. So again, lightweight, durable, and with a wheel like this, after 10, 15 years, you gotta re-silicone this because it'll start leaking air, or if you don't upkeep the wheel, it'll leak air. We completely eliminate that downside of a three-piece wheel with this, and then you still get the three-piece wheel look. So absolutely amazing design. I'm sure you're gonna get some close-ups, but you've got floating spoke design all the way through. You've got a traditional 5-spoke, well, I shouldn't say traditional because this is pretty aggressive, but HRE takes a traditional 5-spoke and completely switches up everything. They make the design completely advanced, and we felt that the G80 that has a lot of very unique, what would you say, how's the G80 look, Andres? Different. It has a lot of different lines, so we felt that the HRE S107 SE is playing along with it, and it's a very aggressive design. One of my favorite parts of this wheel is the flange that HRE designed for the assembly bolts. Again, this center face is bolted onto the barrel. They could have just, phoned it in, did a little flange, but they're like, no, we want to do something pretty unique. And that's where you get these little waves here. Very, very cool. ARP assembly bolts, of course, which are lightweight. You can also do these bolts in titanium. HRE still offers titanium assembly bolts, which on average sheds about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds in some cases off the wheel, which is truly mind-blowing when you're just replacing something like a lightweight assembly bolt. So these wheels by themselves are extremely lightweight. I would say in the mid-20s to higher 20s, which for this specific wheel is pretty good, especially considering it's a multi-piece and especially considering that it's a 21-inch. I think this is the rear. It should have it on the back side. Yep. So HRE engraves every one of their wheel models with a serial number and with the sizing. And so with that serial number, you could actually call HRE and figure out when the wheel was made, what color it was originally, and the sizing. So that's very helpful to those that buy HREs for, used or on the secondhand market, for example. So I'm actually very, very excited to see this. I'm very excited to see how the tires sit on the wheels. So as you've seen when we first got our G80, I mentioned that BMW uses a 19-inch front and a 20-inch rear, and the profiles that they chose for the tires makes it seem that the front is really bubbled over and a really chunky tire, and the rear is a little bit stretched. So I'm interested in seeing what happens when we move to a 20-inch front and 21-inch rear, which is what this setup is. And we're playing with the tire profile sizes and the widths as well to try and get a matching front and rear look, basically. So we would want stretched in the front and the rear, or for the customers that like chunky in the front and the rear. We've seen some G80 M3s already. HRE posted it on their Instagram. It left a lot to be desired. M3s and 4s, I should say, so G80 and G82. It left a lot to be desired. The look wasn't matching front and rear, and so we're gonna come in and try and fix that. So let us know what you think about this design, and let us know what Anarchy wheel model it is that you want us to see on the car. We've already ordered it again, but somebody might be able to guess it and give us some ideas for future setups for the car.
So high.
Chris actually just called me downstairs. He said, hey Dave, I want you to take a look at the way that this car is sitting on the suspension. As a reminder, this suspension is from MSS, which was a new company that we wanted to try. They're out of the UK. And so we wanted to give them the opportunity to put their springs, their lowering springs on our car. And so we did just that, but to be fully transparent with you guys, we are not happy at all with the way that this is sitting. I'm not here to badmouth people, but they did, we got them on the phone a couple of times throughout the day today, and they were trying to basically pull our leg a little bit and trying to tell us, hey, are you sure you guys are doing this installation correctly? We've been doing this since 1999. We've been in business for 20 years. Chris is an amazing technician. We have Andres as another amazing technician. These guys work on supercars, hypercars, you name it, we do it. So yes, to answer MSS's question, they were talking down upon us, almost acting like we were doing the installation incorrect, which we weren't. So we did a bunch of phone calls back and forth with them. The fact of the matter is that these springs do not sit at the right height that we want. And I'm gonna have actually Chris come over here and put it down so that you can see what the front looks like, which is a disaster, and what the rear looks like, which is good. So let us know what you guys think about this. Chris, show the good people what this looks like. Lowered. Lowered. Downtown Charlie Brown.
Car's ready, bud.
Car's ready?
You know I already modified this side, right? I took this off.
Which made it even lower.
That side, that's why it's a little bit lower now.
Yeah.
This side is still the way that they want me to do it with this big thing from Chuck.
Yeah. So what would you call this?
A sleeve.
Okay.
An adjustable sleeve.
Okay. So,
Got grease on it.
so this sleeve, Chris just removed it to make it even lower than that, and this is still the result of the lowering. So 2-finger gap, maybe 3-finger gap. Definitely not what we want. I'm just gonna put this over here. That almost looks like factory ride height. So obviously that's not acceptable to us. The rear, perfectly fine. This is what we want front and rear. About 1/2 finger gap. But that is just not acceptable. And again, we're not here to poop all over a manufacturer, but the attitude that we got back from them and the comments that we were getting back from them when we were trying to find a solution for our very own car was less than stellar, less than professional. So we wanted to be fully transparent with you guys. We like to try different things. If the things do not work, we're not gonna sell it to our customers. Our customers are the #1 most important thing to us, and the happiness of our customers. So if we gave that to our customer, we would be getting a bitching. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but we'd be getting a bitching. So we're gonna return these back to the UK. We're actually gonna get the KW coilovers, which is a brand that we've been using for over 10 years, decades really. And I think that that's gonna be the quick solution for this. So just a little bit more time before this vehicle is completed with the suspension.
Like how you see it now, with the sleeve, with this adapter, this is the factory of spring perch. Yeah, so they pretty much want me to use all that and modify it. These people are not us, they make their own system. So what I do is I have to hammer off the spring perch from the bottom, and now it gets replaced by this piece. And then this is where the sway bar goes. Not only do you now lose all this that doesn't really function for anything, you get this badass machine piece to replace that. So this will now slide over that and we'll replace it. Look at the difference. This is German stuff made for a German car.
Because you and I have different opinions on this.
I would go, yeah, something that pops. The interior.
We're rolling.
With the orange?
Yeah, orange. Orange, black,
The caliper?
gold.
Gold, yeah.
Absolutely.
But then you look like you're trying to have the carbon ceramics,
Correct.
which I don't think those are.
Orange.
Right? Those are not, right?
No, those not.
Yeah, if you had, well then I wouldn't do gold. I'll do the orange, yeah, to match the seats.
Orange will look beautiful.
So you like the setup?
Setup is beautiful. I like it.
Yeah. So we overcame the spring debacle. I think it's the KWs now, right? KWs came out perfect. All right, so as you can see here, we've got the 20-inch front and the 21-inch rear. Now the car comes from factory with a 19-inch in the front and a 20-inch in the rear. I begged Ben to do 21-21 on this car because I told him, hey look, the way that BMW is using this chunkier tire up front and a thinner tire in the rear, it's still not gonna look good, in my personal opinion. Lo and behold, the wheel design and the color combination looks absolutely unbelievable. I freaking love that combination. But the proportions to me between the wheel and the tire are completely off, in my opinion. Again, I know there's gonna be people that do like this setup, but I personally do not. And again, this is our car, so I'm free to kind of have constructive criticism on this. But if you take a look on the front profile, you're gonna have a 275 30-20, and on the rear you're gonna have a 305 25-21. Now I was begging to do the front in a 275 25-21, which is a new tire that Michelin is offering for the Pilot Sport 4S, and that would have brought everything a little bit more proportionate, in my opinion. You would have a 25 profile front and rear. And so the reason we didn't do that is because a lot of BMW customers, when we did 21s on the previous generation, F80 and F82, there was a lot of people crying about it. It's too big, too big, too big. So that's why we didn't want to do the 21-21. However, I think if we did 20-20, which would have matched the front to the rear, it's all of a sudden there's too much chunkiness on it. And so that's why yesterday I did a poll on my Instagram and I included 2 Beamers. So one of them had 21 front and rear, the other one had 20 front and rear. So I think that the 20 front and rear is just too much. I personally like that, and as you can see, the percentages were heavily in favor for the 21-21. So maybe down the road, we will do a different wheel setup with Anarchy or somebody like AL13 and have the 21 front and rear, and maybe it'll make up some of the difference on the sizing.
Yeah, this is the video.
The carbon fiber beam holder.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Holder.
Let's even up the donuts this time.
Carbon fiber beam holder.
Keep your seatbelt.
Hell no. We just washed the car before the donut, so now we got just dirt everywhere on the back end. Just completely dirt everywhere. Which brings me to my next point. I saw a lot of the black piano pieces here. We're gonna be replacing this very soon with the RSC carbon. Same thing with the deck lid spoiler, same thing with the side skirts and on the front as well. So we're just waiting for those parts to come in. And let me speak a little bit louder before the SVJ in the background gets any closer. So we've got IPE exhaust, you can tell with the carbon fiber tips, and it looks absolutely amazing. It's a little bit hot right now because we just did those donuts, but let me jump inside. Let me try my best to figure out how to turn off the valves so we can have a before and after sequence. much wraps it up for this. Again, let us know. The number one thing I want you to tell me about is what you think about the wheel and tire size. I love the design, as I mentioned, the H3 S107s. I love the finish, which is a frozen polish clear for the center and then polish clear for the barrel. But I personally am just not sure about the size discrepancy, the tire to wheel ratio, the way that BMW set it up from front to back. So that's my biggest thing. I want you guys to let us know in the comments below what you think about it. So big thank you to everybody that's been involved in this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. We'll see you next time.
Wow.